Gators and Canes, week 3 in Miami. College game day is actually going to this one, so color me a bit surprised. I think, hey, Miami earned it, but I'll tell you what the Gators need to earn, and that's a chance to even compete and put an offense that's competent out on the field this week. So Florida comes into this game 1-2. They come in a 7.5-point underdog, which, to be honest, is pretty generous. Now, I'm going to give the Gators a lot of flack, but here's the situation. The USF game was just maybe a rotten egg, right? It was one of those bad performances. They had 2 touchdowns called back with penalties. It was just anemic, lifeless. It felt like they never got up. Maybe they were looking ahead. The LSU game, when you're -5 or -4, I guess I should say, they did pick Nussmeier off there at one point. So -4 in the turnover department on the road in Baton Rouge in a night game, it's nearly impossible to win. So I love the way Florida's defense has played so far this year. This will be their absolute biggest test. And Shannon Dawson will be the best offensive coordinator they've faced against so far up to this point in the season. Now, again, that's no shade on Joe Sloan, LSU's offensive coordinator, but Shannon Dawson's a wizard, man. He's got this offense clicking, and more than anything, he's got Carson Beck in a very comfortable position. Mark Fletcher's already got 4 rushing touchdowns, and Malachi Toney's looking like one of the most standout wide receivers in the country. So the biggest thing I look for is I think Miami might have the best offensive line in the country. The way they pushed Notre Dame around all game long, and more specifically in the first half, the way they were able to push them around, give Carson Beck time, I just don't know if Florida has that in them, especially when their offense is 3 and out, turnovers, and the defense is on the field all game long, especially in a road environment. We just saw the same thing happen. Now, they held up against LSU, and props to them. But again, I just think that Miami's a little bit further developed offensively right now in terms of chemistry and cohesion. So I think that's going to be a big problem for the Gators to try to stop. And a key for Miami is get Mark Fletcher going, get that offensive line moving, open up the pass game, hit Malachi Toney on some deep balls. The Florida secondary really hasn't been completely tested quite yet. So I'm curious for someone to really stretch them vertically and test that Florida secondary, guys like Cormani McClain and really just in the secondary in general. So Florida offensively is the knight in shining armor if they win, but that's if they even can, and if they can field an offense that has some confidence, because DJ Lagway is coming off 5 interceptions. It's incredibly difficult to find your confidence, and I'm so curious what the game plan is, because I really thought Florida was going to be a very run-centric, run-heavy team. They have one of the better offensive lines in the country. They're up there with Miami, maybe not better, but a very solid offensive line. Guys like Austin Barber, Jake Slaughter, tons of talent up there. Jaden Baugh, incredibly talented running back that just has not gotten nearly enough attempts or rushing attempts or production this year. Florida, this pro-style offense that Billy runs, it's slow, it's very predictable, it's very one-dimensional, and they're attempting more passes than running in a pro-style offense that's very predicated on establishing a run game. So, look, Miami, Mesidor and Ruben Bain both, Akeem Mesidor and Ruben Bain are going to be a big factor on the edges. If those guys can get pressure, stuff the run game, make a tough night for DJ Lagway, force him to get into his head and throw more interceptions, right? Make more mistakes. I don't trust Billy Napier's play calling, and I don't trust his ability to put together a route tree that has something develop quicker than 8 seconds and it not be a tight end or a quick slant to Trey Wilson or J. Michael Sturdivant. So that, again, I think in terms of let's get to the prediction here. I just think Miami wins this football game. I really do. I think Miami covers, and I think for Florida this is like the wheels come off the train kind of a game. And the rest of their schedule only continues to get tough from here. But Miami's rolling. They're on alert. The confidence is there. And I don't see a world where Billy Napier and his staff will outcoach Mario Cristobal, Shannon Dawson, and Corey Heatherman. As much as I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, and as much as that defense played a stellar game last week against LSU, I just think the cards are stacked against them. I don't see this offense, again, in a 1-week turnaround, finding it. Don't get me wrong, I think Florida's one of the more talented rosters in the country. And coming into this year, I had definitely at least better expectations. I would have thought maybe 2-1 up to this point, not 1-2. But this is where it stands, and Miami has exceeded my expectations and has looked really good, especially on the offensive side of the ball. So taking Miami to win this, taking Miami to cover -7.5. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.